They did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
How about them Cowboys? Think like Cowboys. Make you say Wild Boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a Bengal snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Cowboys. Make you say Wild Boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Done did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make you say Wild Boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that wins. Silver and blue done did it out from the deck to the Zeke, from the O down to the D. Just like you cannot see them boys, no you can't see producer G. Oh no, you can't go. Stay for the show, you locked down like Hot Boys D on 4th and Go. Now from the field to the streets, from the shoes into the cleats, from the jersey to this hat, that's my team, make me complete. Now from the field to the streets, from the shoes into the cleats, from the jerseys to the hat, that's my team, make it complete. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make you say Wild Boys for the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Done did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make you say Wild Boys for the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win.
It's the BGJ Show with your hosts, Big Game James and producer G.
Bro, I don't know, bro. There's a lot of good intros out there. G. But I don't know. Ours is pretty tough coming out there in these streets now. So y'all better watch out. Big Game James,
song always
producer
gets
G.
me fired up.
You know what it is. We here, the BGJ Show. My dog, producer G, on the ones and twos. You heard my son in the background. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? That just gets you ready, and we're going to have a very dynamic show. Shout out to everybody that's in these streets right now. Football Fanatic, Keystone, what's up with my dog, Jay Lombardi. Is it Lauren Glenn the second? I don't know, but I'm a get it right. You feel me? And keep on coming in here. We're going to have a damn good show. Like, share, donation. If you like to give them too. We like those too. So, hey, we're here. And guess what? We're going to talk about a little bit of football, G. And everybody been going nuts, right? Everybody been going nuts over this damn Rams scrimmage because you know what's so funny about it, G, though? Because when Dallas got their ass kicked last year, all of a sudden everybody was talking about it. It mattered then when Jimmy Garoppolo was throwing the balls all everywhere to Devontae Adams and Pakua. What the? Say it.
Puka Nacua.
I always got to slow it down. And him and that damn Kyrie Williams was running all over us. Then all of a sudden it mattered, right? All of a sudden the preseason, the inter-squad scrimmage mattered. But when Dallas comes in, the Rams, and they play them good, and we feel good about the defense, and Dallas do a little bit of things, all of a sudden, oh, it's just a practice, y'all. Calm down. That's some funny shit, G.
Yeah, I've been seeing people making fun of Cowboys fans, talking about this was your Super Bowl, things like that. Yeah, but it's just good though for it to be here. This is what you've been waiting on. You talked about it. You said, I ain't believing none of this or that. Jadon Blue, this and that, until we see it against the Rams, and we saw it against the Rams. He had a fumble.
That's your guy.
And the running game wasn't
That's
really
your guy,
doing
G.
much.
That's your guy, G.
Hey, I want to see the preseason game. That's the next post that I want to get to.
You better get together, Blue.
To the preseason.
G put a lot of stock in you this year. And the Cowboys put a lot of stock on you because they got you second on the depth chart. We're going to talk about that later. But daggone, he better hold the ball. They said he did a little bit better later on. But obviously, they're putting a lot of stock in him and Phil Maffa as being the guy. So y'all better step up and play some good ball in this preseason. But, you know, when they talked about it, you had some stuff from the beat writers, Nick Harris, Tommy Yarish, Patrick Nosey. Everybody also had little different opinions, but I think the whole base opinions when you got from everybody was that the Cowboys played better than they did last year. That's all we were talking about. Wasn't nobody going in there thinking this was a Super Bowl and all of a sudden, yeah, Dallas is a Super Bowl caliber team, anything like that. We wanted to see, was this team going to play more disciplined? Was it going to be more physical? Was it going to be more together? We wanted to see how Christian Parker was going to react in this. We knew it was going to be vanilla. Shotty said it was going to be vanilla. We knew McVay was going to have it be vanilla. So I don't know where, like, these Rams people are out there thinking that it was a Super Bowl. We all knew it was going to be vanilla. We wanted to see if they were going to compete and play better. And from a lot of the talks and from the highlights that we saw, it showed that the Cowboys play better, specifically on defense. That's what we wanted to see, G. Am I not right?
Yeah, I think the debate was that, like, we weren't showing, our media wasn't showing. So a tweet that I saw, maybe I can pull it up, was that if you didn't know any better, you would think the Rams didn't do anything good.
Yeah.
But then that actually wasn't true, because then some of our guys, I think Nick Harris was one of them here, who went back and responded to that with, you must not be reading everything, because he also came out with the stats that with Matt Stafford being, 22 of 32. They still had some big plays. Bland got beat on a big one. And then I know that Stafford threw one pick. The standout of the day was actually the guy nobody really talked about ever, Justin Barron. I mean, I know there's some people had mentioned him before, but yeah, not on anybody's radar. He has 3 picks, so it wasn't that crazy.
And what I saw was
crazy for him, but
yeah, crazy for him.
He's not going to be like your focal point of your defense
Right.
or something.
Right, but the Cowboys did pick him up last year, and I think he was on that practice squad. So that's good for them because they picked him up last year, and he's showing some stuff this year. So, and he has some good prototypical size. I think he's like about 6'4", about 235, 240 pounds. That's the type of linebackers it looks like they are looking for in the future. So, I mean, that was a good thing. But I look at the things that caused the interceptions. When you saw the interception by Matthew Stafford, you saw Quentin Williams pushing that offensive center all the way back into him, and Stafford had to get rid of it quick, and that allowed Barron to break on the pass and get the interception. And the other 2 interceptions as well, there was pressure on the quarterback. So that's what we like to see. We talked about the defensive front. I know there's a couple people that I wanted to look at. Quentin Williams just got the big deal. Shout out to him, but they said he was playing good football. Had the 1 sack, had about 4 tackles. Yeah. Donovan Ezeraku had a sack. They said he got a sack early. That was good, G, because, I've been talking to you about Donovan Ezeraku, who he has to take a big year 2 leap. So for me to hear him doing well, along with Revel, that made me feel better. Overshown played well. We've talked about that, G, about him playing in the middle. I'm still worried about him playing in the middle. I know he has ability, but I'm worried about that with that injuries. But it's good to hear all those guys play good physical football, and that's what we want to see. Rams, calm down, because I seen this Rams podcast. It was actually on my feed, G. I ain't asked nothing about no damn Rams podcast. All of a sudden, Rams podcast is on my YouTube feed. So I said, let me look in there, because he had a lot of views. So I said, let me look in there and let me see what they had to say. And sure enough, G, they was turning up on Dallas. Dallas reporters are lying. They over-exaggerate. They doing this, and it's really funny. And I watched the presser. What? You said you watched the presser of Dak Prescott and Schottenheimer? You watched our presser? Okay, you're bothered, because I can damn sure say I ain't watched no damn Rams presser, because I don't care nothing about your pressers or anything you got to say. Y'all in our pressers. Your people are talking about us. You may be in your fields because Dallas been kicking your ass, and you had Matt Stafford when Dallas was beating you. So it ain't like you've been kicking Dallas's ass through the years. It's been the opposite. So Rams fans, just calm down, dog. We just trying to do the thing. And now, obviously, this gives more incentive to that Rams Cowboys game toward the end of the year.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be big,
we got a holla.
Yep, I already had it up there. You probably didn't see it.
Oh, I didn't see it. My bad. My bad. Hey, ho, for Big Dallas, Big Dow 8604 for the $4.99 holla. Hey, ho. We Love them donations. Says
And
seems
so
like
having
Christian
said
is
that,
ready to call.
I want me some glory hole.
I had to
We
give
love
something
glory
for
hole.
the donation.
Says seems like Christian is ready to call plays and Clayton needs more time. That's good something to talk about because Clayton Adams really ran the offense, G. Shotty was going over to the defense. He was specifically looking at the defense, and he said himself he was going to be more of the coach this year. I'm going to be looking at the defense, the special teams. Those are the other things I'm really going to focus on. And Clayton Adams is running that offense, and they were saying they knew he was running the offense because there was a lot of run plays. There wasn't a lot of lanes. They weren't really getting a lot of yards, and that's what it seems. But I mean, this is what's got to happen. I mean, you're the the run coordinator, the offensive line guy, and hey, you want to probably go to the next level. This is how you get better. So I don't mind this, but like the comment says on the donation, looks like he needs more time, but keep giving him and giving to him so he can get better because the better he gets as the coordinator, the better it allows Shotty to be the better overall head coach.
Shout out to Vondell Jackson, Lee Harrison over on Facebook. Appreciate you guys.
Vondell.
Long time watchers on Facebook. Please help us out with a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because we do videos every week. So, and then if you're not catching the shorts, go over and check the shorts. We post a lot of shorts too. We're going to be heating that back up after tonight for sure. But yeah, big day overall for the defense, though, would you say, compared to last year? But it did seem, though, everybody getting really, really excited. So I'm wondering if people getting too excited, like, should we chill out a little bit? Because I am seeing people, we should be excited. We have the right to be excited, shit like that. And it's like, I don't know. Can you take a whole lot from this? Is this for real or is this just like more hype?
No, I think it's for real. I think it's good for the Cowboys. I think a lot of people will want to see how Christian Parker really called that defense against McVay, even if it was vanilla, even if it was basic. It doesn't matter. You wanted to see how Christian Parker did. The players played very well. Savon Revel, who we've been talking about, he got matched up against multiple receivers and had a pass deflection. He almost had a would-be interception in the end zone. And like I said, we wanted to see how Christian Parker was going to have this defense, and it was very active. We saw it was like lethargic. The team was lethargic. We were talking about it last year, how it felt like the training camp was dead. It was quiet. There wasn't a lot of noise going on with Eberflus in that defense. So when you see it now, especially in training camp, and then you go over to the Rams and then you play that same type of way, yes, there's definitely reason to be, I would say, feeling better because you got better energy and better effort. And we feel like we got a better defensive coordinator than you had last year. So I'm going to take nothing but goodness out of this. I do take stock in these. And I heard players, they take a little stock in this. And, you know, at the end of the practice, I really liked how the guys, did their runs at the end. Of course, people are laughing at it. People in the Rams, the players, I heard podcasters talking trash about it, but that's a good thing because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be worried about what anybody else is saying. You might start a little tradition. You might start something where you start doing it and then you started winning games and all of a sudden people adopt it. That's how it happens because this is a copycat league. So kudos for the Cowboys because the leaders, that's what we're talking about, G, when Shotty wanted to talk about changing the culture. We keep on talking about culture with this Cowboys team for so long, right? I honestly feel that Shotty has brought the right culture, the right type of coaches from the offensive side to the defensive side of the ball. And when you see them doing that at the end and they want to do it, they said, hey, why not? Let's go. I feel like that's where the coach is not saying it. The players are buying in. When your players are buying into the system and they are doing those type of things, I feel like it automatically brings positivity and it brings wins.
Yeah, and you're talking about that culture. You think about a guy like a Micah Parsons and a Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
You didn't realize how bad they were for the culture until after they left. That's kind of what it feels like for me. Because with Parsons, it did feel like, oh, my God, he's like a legendary Lawrence Taylor type player. You already expected him to be that kind of leader just because of how good he is. You think he's putting in the work like that. Maybe he does, but, I just don't think it mixed well with what Schottenheimer wanted to do as far as the culture goes. So I saw a debate out there about people worrying about, why it's a good thing that we lost Parsons. And I think this is showing you why right here, especially after Quentin Williams signs that 3-year extension, something that they couldn't get done with Parsons last year.
Yeah,
so the culture difference is huge.
Culture difference is definitely
that.
huge. When you look at Quentin Williams, number one, he's night and day from Micah Parsons. And once again, I'm not dissing no Micah Parsons because I love the player. I love the talent that he brought. I like he seems like a good person too, so I don't even hate on him in that aspect. But just because you're all that does not mean you be the leader. Just because you're the best player on the team does not mean you're the best leader on the team. But I did hear Shotty say, your team is better when your best players on the team are your best leaders too. That is the key. And that's what you just said, G.
Yep,
As talented as Micah Parsons was, I think we all thought there was a maturity issue. We all kind of saw that. We saw the back and forth with him and DeMarcus Lawrence. That kind of just showed what was going on. We heard Malik Hooker talking about the podcast. That's where I feel like was creating a lot of the controversy. And then you started getting sided where you saw Trevin Diggs start going that side and then him acting up. And just like you said, that culture was bad. And Shotty did not want that in the building any longer. That's why I feel like you didn't see Trevin Diggs playing. And then that's why I feel like you saw the ultimate release of him. So Shotty wants to bring in his type of people. I applaud that. And we have wanted them to take a stand on them players that may not be doing it, but they're the best player and they can get away with stuff. And it feels like he put his foot down and said, nah, that's not going to happen here. And that's why I commend him. And I feel like that's why this team is going to be better in the long run. And I feel like they finally have the pieces in place as far as the coaching. Now they got to go out and do it, right, G? We can talk about it all day, all night. We can say this and we can say that, but they got to win. I'm praying that they do win, because if they do win, I feel like it keeps the fan base behind them 100%. And then I feel like, hey, you get lucky and something may happen.
Clip that. Yeah, and then talking about Diggs, it's just crazy that to think that where it was last year with him. I had a point to make, but I forgot. But anyway, yeah, overall, though, since we're talking Diggs, and we got kind of rambled off, but we just kind of freestyle anyway. I mean, we're just overall looking at everything, but staying on the defensive side. And then real quick before we hit that, back to last year, Big Dow said we was trash last year. It's okay to feel good, because I was talking about how everybody's kind of really excited about what they've seen. But yes, when you think about last year where you're dead last in every category, I mean, you kind of got no choice but to go up when you're that low. But so they're going to look a little bit better. But yeah, I can understand the excitement for how much more improved they look already. The complete roster turnover.
Yeah, for sure. And
talking about those culture guys, completely different culture now. And you said it. That's what I was going to say, to your point with the best players being your leaders. And so you look at your best players like that. Like I say, you think of Diggs' talent, Parsons' talent. You think of those are your leaders of your team. But I guess, personalities just ain't mixing right, I guess.
Immaturity. That's why you see Trevin Diggs still looking for a team. Right? I mean, he was the darling of the team, had 11 interceptions in 2021. I mean, he was the guy. I told you, G, when he got drafted, I said he's going to be a star in this defense, and he was for a little bit. But maturity does, and accountability does matter. As it's a profession, right? This ain't just fun and games. This is a profession. You're a leader of men as well, and people look up to you to be that leader, and they were not. And so when they are not, it tends to break the team down, and the team doesn't play together. Then you start getting the hero ball. How many times have we talked about hero ball with the Dallas Cowboys? Guys just start stat chasing instead of really trying to hone in and win this game. Stat chasing. I think definitely stat chasing was going on with players on this team that weren't buying into the system. And once again, like I said, I feel like those guys are going. And you see Trevin Diggs, he's begging for a job now. He's writing teams. Hey, can I get on with you? So it feels good. Don't wish ill on Trevin Diggs, but it does feel good that you got the right people in here, and you got guys that are saying, hey, we want to be the best. And not only that, we want to be the best for the coaches. But getting Christian Parker, I don't know if it's fake, dog, because you heard Shotty say that Christian Parker was the 9th Zoom meeting. He said when he got to the 8th, he was done. I already had my guys who I already kind of thought I wanted, so I didn't want to do the last one. He said, I didn't remember the gentleman's name, but he said this guy pressed him to, no, you got to interview Parker. You got to interview Parker. He ends up interviewing him. He gets blown away, and then here it is. I don't know if you have one of those things where you have fate that can happen and that changed the whole trajectory of your organization thing because you did that one little move. Because we've seen it time and time again in sports, G, where you do that one little move when nobody's ever talking about it and it being the critical move that changes your whole franchise. I don't know if it's that, but I'm just saying that could be a fate thing to where nobody thought about that and he wasn't on the main radar. He ends up being the guy, but he ends up being the best man for the job, and I think they got it right here. But like I said, now you got to put it on the field, dog.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's one of the things, too, that Cowboys fans has been dying for because, you know, how the Jones just always go with the old people, one of the young, new, up-and-coming, unproven kind of guys because we've seen that, you know, happen. Like with Sean McVay was one of those guys. So
For sure.
But yeah, and then staying on that, the secondary side of it. So Diggs gone, you know, we know coming back now they got Revel, and then they picked up Kobe Durant. Bland, we talked about him. We know he's going to start, but like, how's the rest of it going to play out? I did see he was the one that kind of was on that coverage with a big play to Devontae Adams. I know a lot of people are not really liking him right now. So how do you think it's going to play out, though, with the corner? Like right now, I guess we can look at the depth chart, you know, since
I mean, go ahead and bring it in. We can bring it in right now.
Let's just pull it up, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little frustrated with the whole secondary thing. You know, I feel like Bland is already the outside starter because he just signed a new deal. He signed a new deal literally last year, right? And he's making $12 million a year this year. So I feel like by that notion, you're going to start him. I haven't heard anything Deron Bland's been doing in camp. You just talked about how I read how Nick talked about how they threw a long pass to Devontae Adams on Deron Bland, and he got a touchdown. And they had another pass that was another long pass that they threw to him. It wasn't complete, but it was on Bland. Nobody's been talking about Bland in camp. They just been talking about his health. I've seen a couple pass breakups. But I also seen a couple plays where he got beat deep in training camp. So I have a little frustration with the Bland thing because I said before, buyer beware before they paid him. I said, I don't think he's that guy. I think he's good, but I don't think he's that guy. And I don't think you should do that. And they end up doing it. So now I feel like he's forced to start on that outside because of that money. I don't feel like the play has done it or deemed it, but I guess you signed him. You got to start him. When you look at Revel and Blunt, Kobe Durant. Why do I keep saying Blunt? Maybe it's on my mind. Kobe Durant. Maybe it's dancing in my head. But, excuse me, Kobe Durant. I feel like he's earned the starting position. I mean, he had a 24-year and with the Rams where it was a little uneven. He was really good on third downs. So you definitely say slot. But he's played the inside. He's played the outside. He's played all over the field. His 2025 year was a career year. But we also know that's a contract year. So you got to get paid. So you're going to ball out. That's what he did. He comes over to Dallas. He's done the same thing he was doing his last year. And he's been all over the place. And he's been a leader. So why would you not start him? Is it because you want to see Revel? You drafted him. He is your guy. He is your future. Kobe Durant's on a one-year deal. So he's automatically going to get the nod. So that's where I wonder is the politics. Now, I done already told you, G, I love Revel. I told you last year what I thought he could be, and I've never backed off of that. And I'm excited about what he's already starting to do and show what he can do. But I said last year, don't play him, slow cook him. I said it this year, G, beginning of the season. Beginning of the year for anything, slow cook him, bring him along slowly. He's just now getting some confidence. He's just now getting it together. Don't just shell shock him. You got a guy out here where you can start him out right now and bring him along slowly. He's your future. That's what it is. And you can always move Kobe Durant to the slot because that's what they started out in this scrimmage game. They had Bland and Revel on the outside and Kobe Durant in the slot. I just feel like Revel needs a little bit more time. Start Durant. I really feel like you get Bland by default. But if Revel's playing better than Bland, that's what I want to see, G. If you get along in the season and Bland is starting to do what he's done before and Revel's playing good ball, so is Durant, what are they going to do with that situation? That's the main thing that I want to see. Are you going to move Bland to the slot? What's going to happen with that? Because I feel like that in itself is kind of a funny thing just because of his contract.
I don't want to be that be one of those situations where they just ride it out and wait, and then bad shit happens, and then we get a trade, trade them or something like that. But I just don't want it to turn into a situation like that where we wait too long, just like with that edge rusher spot.
Yeah.
Let's see. So real quick, let's hit on this Justin Barron because he obviously was the big talk. I mean, did you look at him at all? Did you, after that or even before that, like, what do you think about him? Is he one of those guys that might be like a come out of nowhere guy?
I don't know. I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't know nothing about no Justin Barron except name. I kept hearing Justin Barron. You know what I mean? So I can't even front like I knew some Justin Barron. I definitely can't front like I knew he was gonna get 3 damn interceptions in the game, right? So I definitely can say if he's playing that special teams, he's definitely playing himself on the roster, right? You need linebacker help, but once again, wasn't he undrafted? I don't think the Cowboys drafted him or anything like that. He was undrafted for a reason. One of those things. Not every undrafted player is like this. Go ahead.
Did he do enough? I mean, I know we got to see games, but something like that, could you make the team off making plays like that? And it wasn't just. I also saw him have a nice tackle.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely can put you on the roster. You're going to have to look at them linebackers because you're already kind of thin, right? When you look at the linebackers, there's a lot of questions with those. You don't have any proven players. So any type of player that can come in and do that, when you see that gets you on the roster, right? They put you on the roster. We've seen guys play themselves on rosters. I remember Victor Cruz. Nobody knew about him. He went crazy in preseason. And then you've seen what he ended up being, right?
Yeah,
so we've seen that time and time again, guys come out of nowhere. So I think that's good for him. I don't know what kind of position that he would have on the defense. I don't think it is one. I don't think he's going to come in all of a sudden. Justin Barron is going to start getting meaningful snaps right now. I don't believe that right now. But what it does is it gives you some good feeling of maybe we got some depth right here where we can put him in the game and we don't be like, don't fuck up. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? Don't mess up. We don't need – if the more he continue to do this, the more confidence you can get him some spot duty and play. But I don't think he's making any kind of waves as far as getting any serious playing time, not in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what he does in these preseason games. Like, I want to
get a lot of burn. Hope he gets a lot of burn.
Yeah, like if he's flying all over the field, you're saying his name all the time. He's always around the ball. Like, that's going to be like, maybe we got a guy. Mm-hmm. We got a guy. If not this year, maybe next year. Mm-hmm. So be a guy you can't afford to let go if he's making noise like that. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. The defense had the 5 would-be sacks. Who else had a sack in there? Sam Williams with a sack. Isaiah Land with a sack. Leofau had a sack. So, good day for the linebackers.
And you know what's so funny? We don't even talk about Isaiah Land no more. He was the darling years ago. Everybody's like, don't cut Isaiah Land. Don't cut Isaiah Land. He was before my dog Julius. So I think he was the 2023 guy. Everybody's like, don't cut him. Don't cut him. Because remember, Isaiah Land was going crazy in camp, right? He was going crazy in the preseason. We were like, no. They cut him and he's back. And now it's funny. Nobody even talks about Isaiah Land. And he was like the darling years ago. So that's a good thing for him because he has pass rush ability. I don't know what he's really strong in the run game, but I know he can rush that passer, and I feel like that's what the Cowboys need. They need people that can rush the passer. We talked about in the air about possibly getting a player. We would all love that, but that has not happened. Sorry about that. My damn phone went off. Alarm. But we all know that we would love to add another addition, right? But until that happens, hopefully these guys are stepping up. Rashawn Gary, a strong game. I know he was close to getting a sack. Like I said, Maris Leofau, people have thrown him to the side like he ain't nothing. I hope he continues to play because you'll need a player like that. Maris Leofau is a versatile player. I ain't pumping up no Maris Leofau like he's the greatest linebacker in the world. But what I am saying is, you know what? Mike Zimmer saw something in him, and he is a good size. He can play multiple positions. He can play outside. He can play inside. I feel like you need that. You have injuries. DeMarvion Overshown, he played good, right? And he's playing, they're talking about him using green dot, and they're liking the way he's controlling the defense, making the calls. So that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, I still worry about injuries with him. 17 games, it hasn't happened. He has to stay healthy. So I still feel like you got to have enough linebackers so if something like that does happen, you have a guy who's still young and viable that can come in. You don't feel like the defense is going to have a major fall off. So I feel like they need to keep Leah Fowl and don't make the mistake, in my opinion, of cutting him, because I think he's a good depth piece and he can help out if you have an injury in the pinch.
Yeah. Yeah, if you cut him, that's going to suck because you liked his rookie year, so you didn't really get to see nothing from him last year. You really hope he got another chance to do something. But I like the combination you said, Maris in the middle, Overshown outside. So before we move on from the linebacker talk, there's one last thing here. This is kind of, so Von Miller's been dropping like IG stories with hints, like him in the Cowboys uniform, Dak holding a Super Bowl trophy, a picture of Max Crosby. Like, is there anything to it? Like, what are you taking from that? Is he just playing games? Like, or do you think like he knows there's a plan that I think people think there's a plan that's formulating, you know what I mean? And it's getting fans like, what's going on? Like, we're about on the verge of this huge move. Do you think it's something like that, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, if you're just doing that and you're not meaning anything by it, then Von, you're bored. You got too much time on your hands, dog, if you're doing that. That's what I would say. I feel like he's doing a real push. You're from Texas. You're at the twilight of your career. I mean, it makes sense. You got a team that a lot of people are talking about. This could be a good team. You've seen the high-powered offense. You got some good pieces on defense. Why wouldn't a Von Miller say, hey, you got a pretty good defense. I could help and be a piece that can maybe get you over the hump. I'm not saying he's the over-the-hump type player, but he's a good pass rusher, and he still has ability. I'm going back to them 9 sacks in limited duty. They weren't first get off the ball sacks, but one thing Von Miller is really good at, and what I love about him, is his second effort. If he don't get you on the first, he can get you on the second. And one thing he is great at is stripping that ball. So he gets you from the backside, boom, get stripped, sack, fumbles. Von Miller is that type of player, and he arrives in big games. I mean, if you need a big play, Von Miller shows up. So I feel like, why not do it? I mean, we keep on hearing from the Cowboys, they ain't even entertained it. They ain't even thought about him, no nothing. I don't know if that's a ploy for them to say we just being quiet and then we just going to spur it like, bam, all of a sudden Von Miller. That could be a thing. But if they don't go out and get a guy with this money that they just opened, I don't know. People have talked about Josh Sweat. Cowboys ain't even been talking about him, so I just don't know how that's going to happen. I wouldn't run from that. We keep the Max Crosby thing, but I've already said I think it's later in the year. I told you I think the Raiders want to see what they have first and see if they're good or bad. And if they're bad, then let's think about moving on, because you may not be in our future plans now. I think they want to see it, so that's why I don't think Max Crosby is now. So if he's not a now thing, and you don't know if it's a later thing, why not bring him in? He ain't gonna cost no money. He better not demand no money. And if he do, then you just say bye. Why not take the chance on it? What does it hurt? I don't feel like he's going to be a progress stopper, because I don't feel like he's going to be a bother in the locker room. I feel like he's going to be helping the young players. Why wouldn't you want Ezra Rocco and those guys around? Somebody like that's going to help your pass rush moves. He has every damn thing in the tool book, and he already knows the 3-4. He's played in the 3-4 the majority of his career. So it's not like he's going to come in like, oh, I don't know how to do this. He's versatile. He can play 4-3, 3-4, he can play things that you want, and you don't have to play him a lot of snaps. I just feel like this makes sense, and I don't know what is hurting if you do this.
To your point with Max Crosby. So if they wait till later, though, if the Cowboys have a good record, do you think they would still even be interested if they're already looking good?
I would. Like,
it would probably depend on what Ezra Rocco or somebody like that is doing at the time.
I'm still getting the Max Crosby. I don't give a hell. Like, even if Ezra Rocco is balling, those guys are playing really good football. If their Raiders are bad and they entertain and they're talking, yeah, I'm still doing that. Like, why not? Why not get everything you can to win a Super Bowl or a championship? I don't care if Ezra Rocco got 12 sacks at the trade deadline and everybody is balling. If they are making him available and I can spend and it ain't killing us, I'm still doing it. You add that, now you like, these dudes is balling, let's add this. Now we telling everybody, we putting everybody on notice. We trying to win a chip. Everybody gonna know that. So I'm still going after it. I don't care how good anybody else is playing.
This is a question I want to put out to the chat and you, but you don't answer it yet because I'm going to save it for later. But is this the best you felt going into a season? That's just kind of the question of the day, like for the defense or whatever. I guess overall the team, because the offense is probably better than it was last year too. So, yeah, let us know in the chat, and that'll kind of be the question the rest of the way. Is this the best you felt going into a season, or when is the last time you felt this good going into a season? And a couple of shout outs. Rico Jones, shout out to you. Everybody on YouTube and Facebook that's been in there. If you're still with us right now, please like the video. We'd appreciate a like. That helps us out when we get reactions on the stream. And then go over to the Producer G YouTube channel as well. Give me a follow over there. I always forget to say that too, so we could kind of like grow it up together. But I'm streaming there too. But I'm just saying, just go show me a little support. Come back here with the comment.
Love. Producer G some love, dog.
Yeah. Come back here with the comment, but subscribe to me because I may end up putting my own kind of stuff out too. We'll see what happens as we go, if I can kind of find my way there. But one last thing on the defense, and then we'll hit on what the offense did real quick. The safety room, Julius Wood still making noise. This is your guy. He's kind of there was a little story this weekend with Law Nation talked to him and talked about your relationship with him too, and then Caleb Downs too. What happened there in the secondary? Then Jalen Thompson did play, right? Because I didn't really get to see much of that. If it was him, I didn't hear much about him.
I didn't hear much about him, but I don't know if he played or not, so I'm not going to say. I know some people in the chat can let us know if he did or not, because I know he was coming back from injury, so I don't know if they really wanted to really aggravate that or anything like that. But as far as the Julius Wood situation, we were talking about the depth chart. And, we were talking about the different players on the team, and we were talking about Bland, and we were talking about Revel and Durant. So I feel like the same thing is happening at this safety position. If you could pull up the depth chart right quick, G, for me. I want to show everybody something that has frustrated me. When you look at the safety position and you look at the lineups, you see Malik Hooker. We know Malik Hooker, Jalen Thompson, P.J. Locke, and Caleb Downs are the four for sure, right? But then when you see P.J. Locke and you see Marquise Bell, then you see Julius Wood. I mean, you see Zion Childress, and then you see Elijah Clark. So those two individuals is what I have a little bit of an issue. Number one, Marquise Bell. Marquise Bell is only ahead of Julius Wood because of the money. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm going to the grave on that one. This dude just signed a 3-year, $9 million deal. Cowboys don't just cut somebody after no 1 year like that, especially when they feel like they kind of like him, right? So when you saw Jake Ferguson, Marquise Bell, and Deron Bland all come off bad years, and they all got deals. I thought that was real weird, but maybe they wanted to get them when they were low, and they were going to take whatever. I don't know. But I know one thing, Marquise Bell is not playing better than Julius Wood. Julius Wood, my dog, came in 2024 making plays out of nowhere. Got 2 interceptions in preseason game. Not lucky interceptions, on the ball interceptions, playing the quarterback's eyes interceptions, all over the place, laying the wood like his last name. So he gets released, comes back mid-season last year. Now he's back doing the same damn thing. Left off what he was doing before. All over the field, laying the wood. Looks like he's gotten faster, playing faster. The awareness is getting better, bigger, stronger. And you see everybody's writing articles about him. Have you heard anything about Marquise Bell? I ain't heard not one peep about Marquise Bell all camp. I ain't heard nothing of what he's done at all. Okay?
I told you.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I told you about what I said about Bell. Like, every time I have seen number 14, it's been on one of those big plays where it's been a touchdown. Every time, I swear, you go, even the Rams yesterday, same thing, like one of those big touchdowns. I mean, it might be another corner that got beat, but then here comes 14 jogging up behind on like every single one of the big plays. Just as a fan, not really breaking things down too deep, analytical, but just looking at what I've been seeing and watching I'm watching the same Twitter feeds and everything. That's what I'm seeing every day. It seems like Marquise Bell is always trailing behind somewhere when you see a big pass play. I don't know.
It's just I'm frustrated with this one because y'all going to end up, if you release him, somebody going to pick him up again, and I'm telling you, he's going to turn up. His time is coming. And in my opinion, you're making a mistake on this one. I'm okay about the money, and if you cut him, you really don't save no money. You'll get like $500K if you cut him. He's like a $2.8 million hit and 3.6, I believe, in dead money for Marquise Bell. Yeah, she's going to pull it up right now. If you were to release Marquise Bell, and that's the problem. Should the money dictate? I mean, it shouldn't. You're going to lose a good player because you worried about a contract. And there it is right there. You see the 3-year, $9 million deal, $2.5 million signing bonus, $6.2 million guaranteed. There's the hits that you see that I just mentioned, and I just feel like they're not going to go ahead and say, oh, well, we're going to release you because we just signed you. That'll make it look like we made a mistake. We're not going to do that. But Julius Wood is better than Marquise Bell, bar none, hands down. And this should be a flip-flop. Cut Marquise Bell and then put him on the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? What'd you say?
I was just wondering, does it say when he signed this deal? When
was it was like last March. It was like last March.
This past
last year.
Before the 25 season?
The 25 season is when he signed it, last March 2025.
Yeah, so before Christian Parker got here.
Before Christian Parker got here,
so
yes.
They didn't know that they was about to go grab Jalen Thompson and Caleb Downs at that time.
Exactly. So that's why I said I felt like they were fearing, oh, we don't got no safeties. We don't got no safeties. Yep. Let's go ahead and throw him some money. So because he's been there, remember, he played good under Dan Quinn. He had that damn career year under Dan Quinn. Then he was MIA under Zimmer. So they're probably thinking, oh, he's a good player. Let's go ahead and do that. So I think that's the reason why you're talking about that with that, oh, that's why they signed him. But now you got some real safeties in there, and he's expendable. And see if you can get something for him. But if you can't, cut him and bring him back on the team. But Julius Wood is better. But shout out to my dog, KG. Hey, ho, this is my homie with the $9.99 holla. He said, what do y'all think? Triggs and Woods make the 53. It's good to see y'all back and continuing to apply pressure with the content. I like that little comment at the end. That's my dog right there. But we already talking about Woods. I've seen multiple people saying, matter of fact, I seen Aisha Morrison, G. She was talking about it's going to be real hard to cut him this time, right? And then she tagged me and said, I know you proud. I said, heck yeah, me and his dad be talking about all the time. Brad Sham jumped in the tweet and said, it ain't going to happen this time. So Brad Sham saying it, I feel a little better. Brad Sham, he the voice, damn it. Brad Sham, everybody know Brad Sham.
Yeah.
And Brad Sham, I don't see Brad Sham jumping in no damn tweets like that. He jumped in that tweet and said, don't worry about it. It ain't going to be happening. He didn't say don't worry, but he said it ain't going to happen again. So that made me feel a little bit better, G, that maybe he can sneak on this roster and make the team. And y'all not going to regret it, Dallas. Y'all, this ain't no feel-good story. You getting a real player. Don't make the mistake because the money situation. My dog needs to be on that 53, and Marquise Bell need to get cut and maybe go on practice squad. Now, we're going to talk about Mr. Michael Trigg. All right? If you can pull that up one more time.
Real quick, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess we're going to need to hit on the super chat. So, yeah, Trigg, okay. Because I wanted one more guy on defense, but then
okay, go ahead.
And then we can get to Trigg and switch it on over to the offense. I was just gonna ask you about Downs. Like I was hearing that he played like a safety's position this time around. So, and I saw where he blew up a play and would have had the guy down in the backfield before he turned the corner. Was running. But that's about all I saw from it. I don't really know much of what happened with Downs. I heard people liking what they saw.
I like how they switched it up on people. Like they were having them a lot of nickel situations, and they put him at the true safety spot because I believe Malik Hooker was out. So they put him at the true safety spot, and that's what you love about him, right? You had him playing nickel, you had him moving all around, and then one guy goes out, and seamlessly you move him right back into the safety position, and he don't miss a beat. That's why we love Caleb Downs already right now, G, because he can seamlessly slip into multiple spots and not miss a beat. The intelligence, the football awareness, that's what you loved about him at Alabama and then at O State. These are high football IQ football teams in college, right? In my opinion, you were under Nick Saban. You had one of the best ever, and you were doing things that even he said he could have came in the NFL right after his freshman season. Nick Saban saying that about you, you a dog. So look what he's doing right now. So I just still feel like there's a lot of excitement in the air because you got two positions right now, G, that we have been screaming about. Man, upgrade this, and the team will be good. Defensive tackle. You just signed Big Q to the extension. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the game. So we've been screaming for defensive tackle forever, G. Just give us somebody decent, a serviceable one. Somebody can plug the hole, you know what I mean? Somebody can stop a double teams or help the run. You got a dog, right? So you finally got a dog. And then you added a dog next to him and Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark a dog. I don't care what anybody say. And then you got some good depth behind it. You finally got a good defensive tackle room. And then we've been talking about it. I know you've been saying it. When can we ever get a safety? When can we get a safety? Now we got a plethora of them. So the things that have flipped before that we have screamed about the Cowboys of getting that would help this team, they finally hit those areas that meant to me the most. That front end, trench work, and the back end. You got to keep those two positions up at top notch. And that's what I feel like the Cowboys are finally doing. So maybe that changes everything in the defense all the way around, in the end.
Yeah. And then one last thing on Downs for me is like he also fits in that new culture kind of guy too.
Yes, for sure.
And it's nice too that he's not like on a shitty defense where he's the best player. We're all dependent on him, like kind of what you saw when Roy Williams was there. I mean, I know they got better as his career went, but he's coming into a defense where, they got a bunch of new guys, but he don't have to be the best player. You got the Quentin Williams, and then some of the other guys too that they picked up, veterans and stuff too. So he, that's also nice about with him. Okay, so now let's flip on over. We'll get back to KG's comment about Trigg. What do you think Trigg makes the 53? I don't personally think he's done enough yet to do it, but maybe because they don't want to lose him.
That's the problem because you got Schoonmaker. That's the problem. We know Jake Ferguson is entrenched at the number 1. He ain't going nowhere, and we love how Brevin Spann-Ford has stepped up and is the number 2. Well, I feel like he can overtake a Jake Ferguson based on the height, the size. He's getting better as a pass catcher. I just feel like he adds more to the team. And you can see them in 2 tight end sets. Finally, we can finally get some stuff out of that, right? But Luke Schoonmaker's there. He's a veteran. He's been around. What do they call him? Reliable, whatever you want to call it. And just like you said, Michael Trigg has not done enough in the blocking game. Pass catching, we saw some flashes. Hopefully we can see some more in the preseason where he can get a lot of burn, and hopefully that changes the mind of people. But I agree with you, G. I don't feel like he's done enough to beat out Schoonmaker just because Schoonmaker, he's their safety valve. If somebody gets hurt, they can go with the Schoonmaker, right? They can't say, well, they cut Schoonmaker and you got those guys and you bring in Trigg. You don't know about that. That's a rookie, and you putting a lot of trust on a rookie, and he hasn't shown anything, and he wasn't the best pass blocker in college. That was one of his major weaknesses was his blocking. So that's why Schoonmaker is going to be on the 53. And my opinion, you're going to make a huge mistake if you cut Michael Trigg and think he's going to collect waivers. He's not. You just signed him to this big contract, one of the highest contracts for a rookie free agent. Don't play around and cut him. If you have to go 4 and maybe go shorter in a different position to keep him, you're going to have to do it because I'm telling you, he ain't going to clear no waivers, dog. You're going to lose him. And when you lose him, unless he is absolute trash somewhere else, he ain't coming back here. Don't cut him. We need somebody like him. I'd love to see a Brevin Spann-Ford, Michael Trigg, and then you got a Jake Ferguson as a guy who can do something else. But, bro, Schoonmaker is a straight bust. He's a third-string tight end and a second-round damn draft pick.
Yeah, Trigg had a touchdown, too, yesterday in that scrimmage on the second-team unit with Sam Howell. So I don't think Schoonmaker scored a touchdown yesterday.
Man, Schoonmaker is garbage.
But I think maybe if Trigg, if maybe the preseason or something, we could see him contribute on special teams. That'll help too. If he can somehow do something with special teams, because
please go.
If he can't run block or do special teams, your only receiver, then you might not. They might try to practice squad you or something.
But you ain't gonna make the practice squad. Somebody gonna scoop him.
But yeah, Spann-Ford, another just continuing to get better and better. It seems like as that receiver, Dak showing more and more looks at
Trust
him,
in him.
trusting him. Yep. That one of the ones you saw some of the videos yesterday, he hit Spanford. Dak was about to get a sack and just boop, dumped it off to him real quick, and that was like a trust type play. Just expected him to be where he's supposed to be, and that was a good play. Yeah, offense pretty nice as a whole in the red zone yesterday. Dak with 4 red zone touchdown passes. That was one of the areas we talked about. You mentioned it that they were weakest at. You broke down all the stats where they needed to improve in the red zone. So it does look like a lot of emphasis on there. Lamb, Turpin, Spanford scored those touchdowns in the red zone. So, yeah, improvement there. Do you like what you've seen?
I definitely like seeing that because, like we said, that was one of the biggest things that I said Shotty had to prove on. He said it himself in multiple press conferences. That's where the Cowboys have to get better. They were 15th or 16th ranked in red zone touchdowns, getting 50% of touchdowns. And that's not good when you have an explosive offense, when you have a guy who's 1,100-yard rusher, you have 2,000-yard receivers, and a guy who's almost another 500 yards receiving, and Flournoy, and then you still had Jake Ferguson. So you have guys who can get the ball, right? Things that were killing them, the penalties, turnovers, getting too cute. So do you see making those plays? CeeDee Lamb made a really good catch. That was a great pass that through the CD, and he caught it and made that touchdown. You would definitely love seeing that. George Pickens, I know he didn't get in there, but I love when he ran that little play after the run and kicked the pylon. Like I said, you need that. That's why I love him. That's why you got to go against the grain and re-sign him. You got to make something happen with that. But yes, that made me feel good scoring red zone touchdowns because they got to get better.
Would that have been a penalty in the game? I just want to know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that I just want him to make sure he knows in the game. Don't
that's
make
what,
some
but you know
giant
what?
ass play and then mess
That's
it up.
what Shotty said too, because they brought it up to his attention. They said, "Did you see George? Kick the pylon?" He said, "No, how far did he kick it?" And Shotty real sarcastic, and he like, "Hey, we know George is like that. We love that about George, but also you got to be smart." And so that's what he's saying. Hey, we love you how you do that, but we can't get penalties because you trying to be all hyped up right now. Be smart.
Yeah, just kind of control at that point. Yeah,
Control
he did
your
a
emotions.
good job of that last year. He did.
Mm-hmm.
He was still able to do it without drawing flags. It felt like
that's the Shotty effect.
He still showed that emotion, but he didn't get a bunch of penalties, so that was good. But I definitely think he would have got one on that. That would have took away a huge play, if that was a game. But we just hope we don't see that in a game or something. But yeah, all the wide receivers pretty big. Flournoy touchdown. Anthony Smith had a big catch and run, a nice little one-handed snag. I saw that. Cutting it up the sideline, so that was cool too from Joe Milton. And then, was there anything else you want to hit on with the receivers or anything?
Yeah, if you can pull up that depth chart again. The guy that's everybody's talking about right now is it Camden?
Hold on, let me get this thing back over here. You said Camden? Oh, yeah. Where is
Camden Brown? He been balling.
Right there. Number 6. Yep.
He been balling, and he ain't no little dude. He's 6'2". Okay, he ain't no 5'9", 5'10". He a big receiver, and he been catching everything, making strong, tough catches. Now we've seen the training camp darlings, right? Especially at the receiver position. And I had a few of them that I liked. I remember John Oney mentioned John Vay Johnson. I believe he came from the University. I used to love him, but he couldn't catch shit. Fast as ever, nasty. Couldn't catch a cold, right? And then they had another guy. Dallas cut him. He ended up going to the Chargers and had a pretty okay career.
Oh, yeah. Who the hell
you know what I'm talking about. They'll pull it. Somebody in the chat mention it because y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. Those were the guys that were like the training camp darlings, undrafted, making plays everywhere.
Yeah. Seen a guy with the Cardinals making plays. Jalen Brooks.
Is it Jalen Brooks?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was with the Cowboys last year, I think. Anyway, it don't matter. I was just adding to that.
But Camden Brown, if you look at that depth chart, Trayshawn Holden was the guy, right? Everybody loved Trayshawn Holden last year. Everybody was talking about Trayshawn Holden. And they said he was going to compete this year. Damn, Brown's ahead of him. And only reason why, they said Mingo's having a good camp. I know a lot of people hate Mingo because the 4th-round draft pick, he's done nothing. But, he is a big receiver. I think we kind of know what he is, but I feel like if you got a guy named Brown who keeps on showing up in this preseason and keeps on turning up, Mingo, because think about it. We saw a guy named Ryan Flanoy who was, the 5th-round draft pick, and a lot of people came from the small school. Nobody was talking about him, and look how he's played himself into a player. Now Flanoy's a dog, right? They may have found somebody in Brown. So if Brown keeps kicking ass and making plays, especially in this preseason, you may need to do some flip-flop and look at Brown like the sneaky part 2 of Flanoy.
Yeah, that'd be cool to be
holding
that
ain't
deep
holding.
at receiver. Yeah, that'd be super deep at receiver right there. You feel real good about your depth if somebody gets hurt or something. But yeah, it is cool to have that big 3, though. You feel good about that. Let's see. Offense is going to be fine, I think. But, Tyler Guyton, I guess he had a pretty nice day from what I heard. He had an elbow issue or something, a big wrap on the elbow. And but then he was able to come back in. And I think that I also read that, Drew Shelton was more going to be like the backup and Nate Thomas like a swing. So I guess, is it looking like to you that Guyton's just kind of going to be the guy there?
I think so. He's continued to play good. I think the only concern with me is that elbow. I saw him when he got off, when he was on the field and he was walking, and he just looked like he was favoring the elbow. It's heavily bandaged. So this is my thought. Kudos to Guyton. I said this earlier in the video. Kudos to Guyton for playing through the injury, because that's been a little bit his issue, has been the little knick-knack injuries, and then once the injuries come, he's out the game. And then you don't see him no more, right? Or he gets injured and the play starts going down once he gets injured. So kudos to Tyler Guyton in 2 things. Number 1, he got a little stinger, left, and came back in. Kudos. So I feel like he knows in his head, this 3rd year, I can't be sitting out on injuries because that's what everybody's been talking about me. I can't sit out. So kudos to him for fighting through it. And your play didn't go down when you came back in the game. So those are the positives that I'm looking at from Tyler Guyton. Year 3 is the critical year. They all say the year 3 is the year for most players, right? And if he don't do it in year 3, I feel like that's a bust. You move on and figure something else out. So he has all the talent. He showed it in year 2. He was getting better until the injury. So hopefully we pray no injury with him, and that he continues to grow, because he's showing it. And I think he was okay. Everybody was talking about Myles Garrett, but his first game in the NFL was against Myles Garrett, and he didn't have a terrible game. He actually played okay against Myles Garrett. So this is good to hear that. The bad thing, you hear about Terrence Steele. Heard he got his ass kicked up a little bit. He's never been great in pass pro. His strength has always been in the run game. I don't know. You can't cut a Terrence Steele. He is what he is at this point. But you got to play better. You can't get rid of him. And then you mentioned the Drew Shelton. He's not ready. I don't want to see no Drew Shelton getting no meaningful snaps. No, he's not. He's not ready. You'll get quarterback killed. It'll be all kind of penalties. It'll be bad. So I think the concern is with the depth on the offensive line. You lost a Brock Hoffman. TJ Bass is still there. You had the other guy that was from North Carolina. He's no longer with the team. So you have a lot of unknown on that offensive line as far as backups. And from what I've seen, they haven't been great. So really right now you can't afford an injury on that front 5. They look really good. As far as that big 3, I think Guyton has come along. Terrence still might be the weak link, but they can't afford any injuries in my opinion.
No, they cannot.
Oh, Valdez-Scantling is still on the damn team.
Yeah. And I saw Brian Schottenheimer and talk about how the most impressive thing for him was, just quick to the Scantling thing, is his speed, that he's fast. But I know everybody wants to go to he played with the last 5 MVP quarterbacks or something like that, or Super Bowl winner.
And he drops the ball.
That could mean that maybe now he could play with another one, Super Bowl quarterback.
He has the drops. I mean, he's been dropping passes in practice. I remember when he was with the Chiefs and he dropped a wide open touchdown right
Yeah, I
through his
remember that.
hands. I mean,
I
I
remember
think
that.
everybody remembers that, right?
Yeah.
That's what people remember you from because you had multiple games where you were dropping wide open plays. I can't trust him. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got speed. Speed don't matter if you can't catch shit. So I really just feel like he's a camp body. I'm tripping that he's the backup to George Pickens. I'm not saying get him off the roster, but he's not to be trusted. So I need some other people to continue to step up so they don't feel like they got to keep him on the roster.
I'm with you, but I just think from that fan side of it, it's just like maybe he's like a good luck charm or something. Kind of like, oh, whatever team he's on is going to do well, you know?
Yeah.
He's just played with so many good quarterbacks, I guess, you know? Yeah, I don't know. He just got signed by the good team, so hopefully that's just another like, okay, this good team signed this guy. I think that's just the other angle of it or whatever. But anyway, yeah, we already kind of hit on. We talked about Jaden Blue, right? But I guess the running game as a whole just wasn't like very noticeable. Nothing to really note. I saw Javonte Williams was solid with a lot of nice gains. That was kind of the notes I saw on him. Shout out to Patrick Walker, Tommy Yaris for those articles and stuff like that. Nick Harris, those guys. But yeah, that's kind of where I was gathering information from those different articles on the .com or the Cowboys.com. And yeah, that was Javonte Williams is the only thing that they say really stood out in the running game. And then I heard that Blue had the fumble. I didn't hear a whole lot else. Did you hear anything else about the running game?
Not really. Just that he settled down a little bit. They just said it was tough sledding. The Rams defense front was stout, and it was just hard sledding for the run game. And that's where a lot of people were like wondering, oh, well, Clayton Adams is doing the play calling, so they're really trying to emphasize the run. You're not doing a lot of passing. There's not a lot of diversity in this offense. But he's learning on the job. I feel like you got to keep on giving it to him, and as far as him learning and getting better. Because, like I want Shotty to focus on being the total head coach and managing the whole team. So I know Shotty can jump in there on a pinch and do it as well because I know a lot of people have, high praise or good praise for Shotty as a play caller. You saw what he did to this offense last year. It looks a lot more innovative. And I was actually watching on Hard Knocks yesterday, with the Hard Knocks New York Jets 2010. And guess who was the offensive coordinator? Brian Schottenheimer. And it was just funny watching him.
Like Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, with Mark Sanchez. And I'm watching him now, right? And so I'm looking at him, how he's the coach and how he was the coordinator. He's the same person. Real easygoing, lucky, easygoing, laughing. But when it's time to get serious, he gets serious with it. And he will get on you. Like, he was on their ass like, look, motherfucker, we're running the ball. Like, so it was good to see that side of him in his youngest years and see how he really carried himself, to see how much more he's grown, because that was like damn near 16 years ago. So it's good to see him kind of come full circle, and I just really want Shotty to really win because I feel like he's the right coach for this team. He's the right coach for this organization, and I just pray that they can win and do some things because, like I said, G, all that kumbaya will stop if he don't win games.
Yeah, and then it would be interesting if he does win. Let's say we go to a Super Bowl, and like, how do you look at Jerry now if you win a Super Bowl? Is he like back to being a good owner? I mean, he wasn't obviously, but like, how do you look at him if they win? You know what I mean? Like, does that change your perception on him a little bit?
I never hated Jerry. So from me, I never hated Jerry or anything like that. I've always just been frustrated. Like, why can't you do it? So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to make me change my thought pattern of Jerry. It'll just make me say, hey, he was, number one, getting older. And he finally said, F it, I need to change. And I'll give him that, where he just said, you know what? Maybe I just need to step back and let these guys kind of do it. But that's Shotty. So I guess I give him for making the right call on Shotty. And that's where I give him the props, because he could have went out after he got on Mike McCarthy and went after another big-name coach to bring him in. But he trusted Shotty, who a lot of people dissed that hire. A lot of people within Cowboys didn't like it. It was blah. So that's where I would give him credit for making that kind of stick your neck out, because he was not the popular pick in a lot of the NFL circles, and a lot of Cowboys people were like, what? That's a blah pick. So that's why I'll give him props for. So if Shotty takes him somewhere, that's where I will point to and saying, well, hey, nobody wanted Shotty, and he still went after him. So kudos to Jerry in that aspect.
Yeah. And I know Jimmy Johnson had already won before he got him, like, to come there, like, in college. But still, you know, he was able to get Jimmy Johnson, too. So you got to give him some credit there, too, right, for hiring Jimmy Johnson at least. But all these years, like you said, he finally changed. He's always been, like, trying to be the football guy or whatever, right? Be like a scout or something like that. So, you know, that's not just living the dream of a rich football team owner. But yeah, like you said, just older now, wants to win, it seems like now. So get one more, you know, before it's done. So, yeah, it looks like it does feel different this year. So that's just kind of leading right into this last question here. Is this the best you felt going into a season in a while? When's the last time you felt this, I guess, good? Do you feel great going into the season?
I'm even kill. You know, I'm not too high, not too low. That's why I am with the Cowboys now, in my opinion. I don't get too high. Remember, I used to get too high, G, and I used to get too low. And I was on that roller coaster of a fan, content creator, and just, man, mentally exhausting. So now I just even kill. And I feel like that's better for me. I feel like it's better for me as a fan now, because I can see things through my eyes of not just, oh, I'm the ultimate Cowboys fan. I don't care what you say about my team. It don't matter. I don't like being a fan like that. I want to be able to see from it all the way around. So I'm even kill. I don't think, ooh, now they got Christian Parker to do this, because I've seen too many things that have happened that I was excited before, and it was crash and burn. So I'm even kill, and I just want to. I'm sitting back and watching and observing, and that's where I'm at. I like what they are doing. I definitely like what they're doing. But I'm even kill. I ain't tripping and saying Dallas about to do, yeah, watch out now, Super Bowl in the next couple of years. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm right there too. Like, it's been like you got to prove it to me kind of thing, like, for years now. So it's like I told you before, NFC Championship game, or it's not really good enough. We've just been waiting too long. And, like, you can't even talk shit, because then you end up feeling stupid, you know, like when you don't go nowhere. You get all hyped about the team. They look great, like those 22, 23 years like you talked about before. And then you go into that playoff game and you just get destroyed. And it just crushes you and takes everything out of you. And it's just like, all right. I mean, you know, you still have little moments
that
of
23
excitement
loss,
when you see things. But overall, though, you're like, man, I don't know. Until we get further than we've gotten, and that's more than like the divisional round, which has been a while now since we got that far. That's where it's at for me. Like, I need to see that.
Yeah.
Before I get like too excited about anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope it can happen. I do hope, though, it can happen.
Hopium is a powerful thing. That hopium drug is a powerful thing, and that's what Jerry sells to the Cowboys fan each and every year is hope. And as long as there's hope, that's what he wants, because that's why he's still number one richest organization, NFL team. Was it $15 billion still, and you ain't seen a championship game or a Super Bowl, and you're still number one after all these years? So that motherfucker knows how to do the brand. Excuse me. And the Cowboys are always a polarizing team, no matter what. Michael Irvin said it before. Remember we used to play it, G, on our old shows back in 2017, 2018, when Michael Irvin said, you can love them, you can hate them, but you still would talk about the Cowboys day and night. That's just the way it is.
Clip again. Yep.
Yeah, you're going to have to find that, because
I got to get a bunch of clips.
That was the realest clip he ever said to me. You can love us or you can hate us, but you still going to talk about motherfucking Dallas every day. So
yeah, that was a hard part of the intro, too. I need to get that. Mm-hmm. But, all right, man, let's get up out of here. I'm going to start up this. Any last words? We got a football game Saturday
Saturday night. Live, we going live.
I'm down to go.
Yeah, so check out the Big Game James Show, producer G.
We can go live and just be on Twitter and getting those instant updates, and you know what I mean, or X, and you know, get those updates, and just kind of react and chill as it's going on.
Have a good time when see how these Cowboys
good to
do
me.
against these Seahawks.
So check back in on Saturday with us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Make sure you like the video. We really appreciate that.
Subscribe,
And,
share,
if-
all that good
if
stuff.
If you love the intro too, give the video a like, and the outro now, I guess. But yeah, that's gonna do it.
LBs and the Cowboys, you tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Done did it again, how about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys, make you say Wild Boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs and the Cowboys, you tuning